You know, we all depend on agriculture. It's the backbone of civilization, and in a country like India, it's how a massive part of the population makes a living. But to keep up with demand, there's a kind of chemical war being fought in the fields. And in that war, it's the farmers who are on the front lines, facing a hidden, toxic danger every single day. So, just how serious is this threat? Well, let's dig in.
To get a real sense of the problem, a team of researchers went straight to the source. They didn't just look at data. They went out and talked to people. They conducted this in-depth survey across northern India, interviewing 92 individuals in 12 different states, most of them farmers, to hear firsthand what was really going on.
And what they heard was, well, it was pretty alarming. This isn't just some abstract health risk. We're talking about real people with severe skin problems, eye irritation, trouble breathing, and as this quote shows, in some cases, people even died. That right there tells you the stakes couldn't be higher.
So let's start where the research did, by actually listening to the voices from the field. What did this initial survey really uncover?
First off, who are they talking to? Well, have a look. The chart on the left is pretty clear. Over 82% were farmers. And on the right, you can see the biggest group was between 41 and 50 years old. So these are experienced people, right in the prime of their working lives, who've probably been doing this for decades.
So that leads to the big question. Are they protecting themselves? Over half say they use some kind of protection. You know, maybe a cloth over their face or gloves. But look at that red slice. That's the one that really gets me. Nearly 1 in 3, 31% of farmers use no protection at all. Zero. The only thing between them and these dangerous chemicals is their own skin.
Hearing these stories, the researchers knew the next step was crucial. It wasn't enough to know people were getting sick. They needed to figure out exactly what was making them sick. It was time to profile the chemical culprits.
So, they took all the information from their surveys and started building a library of the most common agrochemicals being used. And the total number of distinct, toxic compounds they found was 58. That's 58 different chemicals being sprayed on crops and, of course, getting all over the people working in those fields. And we're not talking about harmless stuff here. Of those 58 chemicals, over half were found to be highly mutagenic, which means they can actually damage your DNA, or tumorigenic, meaning they can cause tumors. We're talking about chemicals that are officially classified as moderately to extremely hazardous. This is a really toxic cocktail.
So how in the world do you go from a problem this big to a potential solution? Well, this slide lays out the game plan perfectly. First, you talk to the farmers. Step 2, you build that chemical library. Then, step 3, you take that library into a digital lab to screen everything. And all that leads to the final crucial step, finding something that can block these chemicals.
And this is where the story takes a really fascinating turn. Because the solution they started looking for wasn't some brand new synthetic drug. Nope. It was something that's already inside every single one of us. It's time to meet the body's own defender.
This right here is Glutathione S-transferase, or GST for short. It's a protein that acts as our body's own natural cleanup crew. Its entire job is to find nasty compounds, grab onto them, and help our system get rid of them. So the researchers had a thought. What if this natural defender could be the key?
To figure that out, they used an amazing technique called molecular docking. The analogy here is just perfect. Think of our GST protein as a single lock, and think of those 58 toxic chemicals as 58 different keys. Molecular docking is basically a super powerful computer simulation that tries every single one of those keys in the lock to see how well they fit. It's how you find the perfect match.
And here are the results from that digital experiment. That docking score tells you how tightly the chemical key fits into the protein lock. And here's the trick. The more negative the number, the stronger the bond. It's like a powerful magnet. And look at that top one, Bordeaux, with a score of minus 9.7. That means it binds to our natural detox protein like superglue. This was a huge discovery.
Okay, so what do you do with this knowledge? You now know that our own body's proteins can latch on to these dangerous chemicals. Well, that information became the foundation for a really groundbreaking idea, something the researchers call a molecular shield.
And this is the absolute key to the whole thing. The goal isn't to invent a medicine to treat chemical poisoning after it's already happened. The idea is to build a physical shield that stops the chemicals from ever getting into the body to begin with. I mean, this is a total paradigm shift, right? We're moving away from a reactive approach, waiting for someone to get sick and then trying to fix it, to a completely proactive one.
The whole point is to trap the toxins before they can ever cause any harm. Prevention, not treatment.
So what would this look like in the real world? Just imagine taking this GST protein, the one we know binds so well to these toxins, and actually weaving it into the fabric of a mask, or gloves, or other protective gear. It would act like a molecular sponge, literally catching and holding on to those harmful chemicals so they can't be inhaled or absorbed through the skin. It's brilliant.
It's just such a visionary concept, isn't it? Using a piece of our own biology to create a shield against these modern chemical threats. And it leaves us with a really powerful question to think about. Could this very approach, which all started by just listening to farmers in India, one day revolutionize farm safety for millions of people all around the globe?